Class 12, Subject Biology, Chapter 5, Principles of Inheritance. In our lecture 1, we already studied Principle of Dominancy and Principle of Segregation. Now, today we are going to study number 3, Principle of Independent Assortment. To know about this principle, you must have an idea about dihybrid cross. So without dihybrid cross, you cannot prove the principle of independent assortment. Therefore, we are going to study dihybrid cross first. Dihybrid cross means study of two character cross. Or we can say inheritance of two genes. Now, inheritance of two genes means a dihybrid cross. In dihybrid cross, we shall study two characters in place of in monohybrid cross we studied one character at a time. Here, what are the two characters we should take? We should decide in such a way. Suppose character number 1 is plant height, and suppose character number 2 is flower color. You already know these two characters have its two contrasting forms. They are tall height or dwarf height, which can be represented in capital T or small t like that. Similarly, the color of flower in pea plant, there are two colors, violet means capital W, and white means small w, small w. In this way we can represent the characters. So these two characters we are going to study together. This phenomenon is called dihybrid cross. What conclusion we could draw from dihybrid cross? Just we will see to have a cross first. Now, our topic is principle of independent assortment. It means the characters expressed independently without the interference of one character over other. Here we are going to study two characters at a time. The expression of one character is independent over the expression of other characters. Just we'll see this cross and we'll conclude the third law of inheritance, that is principle of independent assortment. Now what is there in this cross? Just to see. Now these two characters, it is point number 1 and point number 2 comes to the what are the parents. Now here male parent is crossed with the female. We have to show parents clearly. Now third point, what are the characters parent have? The parent male may have a tall height with violet flowers, while a female parent may have a dwarf height with white flowers. Now we can represent point number 4. What is the genotype? Genotype means genetic constitution. Here we can represent genetic constitution capital D and capital W. And here we can say small t and small w like that. If you are going to write these symbolic and contrasting forms of a character, it can be also written in reversible form, capital T, capital W, capital D, capital W. It is also correct. We cannot contradict one another. And similarly here, small t, small w, small t, small w. That is also correct form of the writing. When these two types of individuals, they end up going to make a cross. Their cross must form their gametes, and these gametes are formed by, you know already, meiosis cell division. Why meiosis cell division? I already told, since the individual plant is diploid. So meiosis cell division will form the gametes. Now what are gametes will produce from here and from here? Just to see. This type of gamete will produce from here, and this type of gamete will produce from here. We show these gamete in these forms. Most of the students, they confuse here to form the gametes. Two characters, one gamete from one allele from one character, and the allele from the younger character. It is brought together, and that is the gamete. Now, the next point comes to the when gametes are formed, they have to cross together, and this cross is direct in the form of a progeny, that is capital T, capital W, small w, and that can be called F1 progeny, and this F1 progeny represented as tall and violet, and it is heterozygous. I already told it. The parent having tall violet, that is homozygous condition. Homozygous. See, they are homozygous. They are homozygous. They are homozygous tall and violet. And here, what type of progeny we are getting after cross? That is heterozygous. Heterozygous, you see how different from that homozygous. They have appearance tall and violet. They also have appearance tall and violet, but their genetic constitution is different. See it here. They are all dominant. Here are one dominant, one recessive. Even they are representing the same character. And because of this, they represent the first law of inheritance, that is law of dominancy. So who is here dominating? Tallness is dominating over the dwarf. Similarly, the violet color is dominating on the white. So dominance only expressed here. And that indicates the law of dominancy also. Our purpose is to know the principle of independent assortment. We have to find out the number 8 point means F2 progeny are F2 parents. For F2 class we find out the parents. Here we are taking the parents of heterozygous individuals. Heterozygous means these type of individuals we are taking to class again. They are the parents. What they represent? They represent condition of heterozygous. Why? They are having contrasting form of their alleles. A allele of capital T having its small t with that of a contrasting form. Similar, a violet W having its allele in the form of small w, and that represents the contrasting form. Now these parents are get further crossed in such a way you see how they form their gametes. Now what are the parents? I am repeating a point here. Capital T, capital W, small w is crossed with capital T, capital W, small w, and they are going to form their gametes. They are genotype, and their gametes you see already know it. How are the gametes formed? Now gametes can be learned how to form. We take now in this way we can form one type of gamete, second type of gamete, third type of gamete, fourth type of gamete. You see how are the gametes formed? So we can show how are the gametes formed. Capital T, capital W, capital T, small t, capital W, and small t, small w. These are the gamete types. These are the gamete forms. There are 4 types of gametes. Similar gametes we told you here also. Process I told you how gametes can be represented. Gametes can be found by Punnett square method. Just to see what type of gametes you are getting here. Now, the first type of gamete, second type of gamete, third type of gamete, and the fourth type of gamete. There are 4 different types of gametes are found. These are the female gametes, and these are the male gametes. Now we cannot make here the line cross method because there are not possibilities to make so many lines here. So we have to follow the Punnett square method. Now 10 point with the cross, 10 cross we are following Punnett square method. In the Punnett square method, we have to draw a chart. Now what type of chart is needed? Just to see here we represent a column which shows different type of gametes. Now, in the side, we represent another column that shows a chart to show the other type of gametes. Now, these are the gametes 2, 3, and 4. Now, it is for female gametes, we are taking this side. For male gametes, we are taking this side. Means this side is for the female gametes. Now female gametes are here, capital D, capital W, capital D, small w, small d, capital W, and small d, small w. Similar here we will take capital D, capital W, capital D, small w, small d, capital W, small d, small d. Now, when this cross is made, they are multiplied in such a way. Now, just to see, how I am drawing, we are just putting both together. Now, it is a female gamete mixed with the male gamete. The product will be of this type. Just to see, it's clear. Now, it is the female gamete, here is the male gamete. They brought together just in the form of these. In this way, all the columns will be filled. Just I am filling the column. Now the third column. Now the fourth column. Now in this way we are getting the products. Now we can show these products in such a way what we are getting here. Now just see how are the products are here calculated. Now where both dominant alleles present. Now, how many we are just counting? 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. They are 9 numbers. And what they have? They represent tall and violet. Now, second, only one dominant allele, that is capital T. They are counting just to see capital T is having capital W. Now just to see, these are 1, 2 and 3. Means there are also 3 numbers. Number 4th condition, without dominant allele, is equal to, that is only 1, and that is 1 number. So we can say, if both dominant present, it means they are tall violet. If only one dominant present, they are tall white. Now this third one is the dwarf violet, and fourth is dwarf white. So 4 type of individuals we are getting. We can conclude these results in the form of following conclusion. What conclusion we are drawing here? Just to see. We can call phenotypic ratio number 1 tall violet is equal to 9, 2 tall white is equal to 3, third dwarf violet is equal to 3, and fourth dwarf white is equal to 1. We can call it 9 ratio, 3 ratio, 3 ratio, 1. And here we are finding the parental type. They are these 9 dominant tall violet one parent type. I am talking here parent means whatever taken in the first class, F1 progeny parents. They are tall violet, means 9, and dwarf white for the female parents, ratio 1. They represent parental type. Parental type cannot represent the phenotypic ratio, or parental type cannot be said to express the independent assortment. Now, in the condition we are finding the recombinant type. And here we are finding recombinant types are 3 ratio 3. They are recombinants, these two recombinants. In these two, the tallest 3 and violet color 3, they are equal in number. And that represents law of independent assortment. Where you are looking for law of independent assortment? That is in recombinant type. What is in the recombinant type? They are representing equal number of tall and violet. So tallness cannot suppress the expression of violet color, and similarly the violet colors cannot suppress the expression of tallness. In this way, we can say law of independent assortment can be proved on the basis of dihybrid cross. Whatever you are looking here. Now, just we will go how are the law of independent assortment is represented. Now, just we see here law of independent assortment. During dihybrid cross, the dominant characters express independently. One character cannot suppress the expression of other character. This phenomenon is called law of independent assortment. Now, it is very clear from the diagram cross how the law of independent assortment is spread. So, we can conclude our talk in such a way that there are three principles of inheritance: the principle of dominance, the principle of segregation, and principle of independent assortment. Principle of dominance can be represented in the form of monohybrid cross, where we made monohybrid cross in my previous lecture. Now here we are studying the third law, law of independent assortment, and this law requires a dihybrid cross that can be drawn in 14 different steps. I have already shown, and after drawing the cross, we are finding these conclusions. These conclusions represent infinity ratio in 9 ratio 3 ratio 3 ratio 1, and from this ratio, the law of dominant independent assortment can be proved. In this ratio, we are finding the 9 individuals, they have violet and violet color. They are both dominant. It was a parent. If you remember, it was a F1 parent. That was the male parent. And it was the female parent. Female parent was dwarf in white. So both 9 and 1, they represent parental character. And parental character cannot show independent assortment. Whatever products are remaining, they are called recombinant types. Recombinant types either tau or violet. Both have equal numbers. It means tarness cannot suppress violet color, and violet color cannot suppress tarness. So both are independent here. It shows law of independence assortment. I think you got clear-cut idea about the law of inheritance.